so we're going to install the CPU and we're going to install the RAM onto the motherboard. Okay, so let's open the motherboard up. Take it out of its casing now. When dealing with any computer components, make sure you stay away from any sort of static electricity environment. So anything that's sort of cloth material or carpets, stay away from it. Make sure you're on some like plastic table or anything that is not going to be cloth, because that will build up static electricity. Okay, so let's board out carefully. Now what I like to do is pop the board on top of your case. So I'm going to do that. Pop the board on top. Pop the board on top of your box, sorry, not your case. And hopefully you can see that well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and install the CPU. Unbox it here. So, okay. So, let's get this out now. Okay, with the CPU, with AMDs, you're going to have the pins are going to be on the CPU itself. If you've got an Intel CPU, the pins are going to be on the board, and then the pins are going to then connect to the little, it's going to be contacts on the CPU itself. So we've got an AMD and they're going to slot into, pins are going to slot into this socket here. Now on the sockets, you're going to have a little arrow or indicator somewhere on the corner, and that indicator you're going to align with an arrow on your CPU. I'm going to do this unboxing of the CPU. So we've got the AMD Ryzen 5600. So you've got the CPU there. There's a little sticker, and you've got your CPU cooler in here. Right. Open this one up. Now, what's going on here? Well, when I open the box, then I'll get back to you. There we go. Open to the top. It's been a while. Okay, so here's the CPU. Protector there. And there she is. Comes pre-applied thermal paste there. Yep, there's that one. We'll just leave her in there. Okay, so let's install the CPU. Take it out of its packaging very carefully. Be very careful with the pins, because once you bend it, yeah, that's kind of it, unless you can bend it back. But yeah, that's all the pins there, as you can see. And you can see it's got a little arrow there, tiny arrow. Find your arrow on the motherboard. So on this one, it is on this side here. So when I get this little lever, this is going to lock it in place afterwards. So just kind of pull it out, pop it out gently, and it will unlock. You'll feel it. Get your arrow of your CPU. Align it with the arrow of your CPU socket. And then just gently hover it over and just let it just sit in very gently. It will easily go in. To make sure it is in, just give it a little bit of a wiggle and you'll feel that it's locked in. But yeah, that is locked in. I'm happy with that. So this is going to be pretty scary for you your first time doing it. Once you've done it once, you'll be much calmer the next time. But to be honest, it's still kind of scary when you're doing it. So once it's in, you want to push down on the lever and just click it in. And there you go. That is the CPU installed. And now we'll do the CPU cooler. Okay, with this motherboard, we are going to take off these little brackets here, because for this cooler, they are not needed. Some coolers, they will have like a little clip, and like a little kind of lock-in mechanism that sits on top, and they lock in here. But in our case, our cooler, as you can see, is just the 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and that will pop pretty much down like that, screw it in, and it's done. So let's pop these out first. Just unscrew like so. Now pop these screws somewhere safe, because you're going to need them. Oh wait, no you don't. The screws come with the cooler. Gently, be careful you don't drop the screws onto your board. I use a magnetic Phillips head, and that prevents you from dropping the screw. Doesn't stop you though, so just be careful still. Alright. Now, this cooler comes with thermal paste already applied. Feel free to apply your own if you want, but the pre-applied one will do just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you do it with your own, they will come in like little sort of syringe tube things. Just put like a little pea sort of size drop on your middle of the cooler. Make sure your heatsink on your cooler is clean, and just pop it on, and that's all good. Yeah, there's videos out there on how to do that if you wish to do that. But in this build, we'll just be using the pre-applied thermal paste there. Okay, so one thing to take notice is this cable here. It's going to be for your fan. So if you sort of picture where your board's going to be in your case, you want to sort of have your fan whatever way desires to you. You can always adjust it after, because there's little screws here, so you can take it off and turn it around if you want. But I like to try to line up straight away. So in my case, I'm going to want the cable to kind of be facing towards the main power connector here, because the fan header is right here. So if I have it on this side, facing kind of closer to that fan header, that way you don't have the cable kind of reaching over like that, if that makes any sense. So let's get this camera in. It's a bit better. Okay, zoom in a bit. There we go. Now you're going to have the screws go into here, 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 and here. It's going to have like little sort of grommets or slots for it to screw into. Like so. There we go. It should just seat in like that. So once it's in, just give it a little bit of wiggle. That's definitely in. You then tighten one side up with a screw, go clockwise. Just don't go all the way yet until you get all the screws kind of in. So then on one side, go diagonally to the other side. Screw that down a bit. As you can see, I did it a bit too tight there, so just undo it. If you have that issue, just loosen it up more on one side, then I'll let you then screw in the other side. There we go. And do this side. That side. Okay, so now we can just go again, make sure that they're tight now, go all the way until they're nice and done. There we go, feel them tighten up, don't over tighten them. There we go, side, done. And for your CPU cable, you'll look at your manual and it will show you where your CPU fan header is. These fan headers, and this one is a 4-pin connector, and it will have a little notch there. You'll see that notch right there. So you can't really go the wrong way as long as the notch is pointing correctly on. You slide it on. There we go. And that is your cooler done. Okay guys, so we've got the CPU installed. Now we're going to install the RAM. So we've got 2 sticks here today to install. On your motherboard you might have either 4 channels, so 4 slots for RAM, or 2. Generally it'll be 4, and on your motherboard manual it's going to tell you which slots you should use first. So you want to make sure if you've got, say, 2 sticks to install, use them 2 slots the manufacturer says to use first. Or if you've got one and you've got a 4 slot channel, as we have here, which one to use first. So in our case, it has an indicator on the motherboard. Yours might be the same. It's going to be this one here and this one here. These RAM slots are going to have 2 notches on them, like little tabs, sorry, and they just unclick, and then you're going to pop your new RAM in and click them back in. Now on the RAM slot, it's going to have a little notch that's going to notch in with your RAM stick. So I get RAM. You can see here, it's got a little notch there. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And that's going to go into the notch here on the motherboard. So there's only one way it goes. So obviously it's not that way, so I'm going to turn it around and just slot them in gently so the notch is down like that. Then what you do is kind of push down it a little bit, just give it a wiggle, make sure it's in. And one side, just click in, it'll click in. Push down, and it'll click in, just like that. And that's one stick done. Do the other one. Very easy, guys. Line the notch up. Okay. Put her in. One end down. That end down. There you go. And they're all done. That's how you install RAM. Okay guys, so now we're going to install the motherboard. Just had to adjust my standoffs for the micro ATX board I'm putting in. So I've gonna have 3 screws at the top here, 3 in the down below here, and 3 at the one at the very bottom there, and 1 there. So what you can do is just grab your motherboard by the CPU cooler and just face it the right way. Align it into the I/O shield at the side, making sure that all your jacks and stuff are in the right position, and push that in. There we go. Then you'll see all the screw holes align, and we have got alignment, so that is all good. Then we will grab our screws and screw her in. Okay, what we're going to do, guys, now is install the motherboard. So what you do is just, once you've got all your standoffs ready, just align the ports to the shield. Gently just hover it over them standoffs and make sure all your ports are aligned in the shield. There we go. Push it in. You'll see now all the screw holes are aligned. Got 3 at the top there, and then I've got 3 down here done, and 1 there and 1 there. Once you can see it's aligned, grab your screw, have a look in your manual to what screws for what. For example, this manual here says motherboard / SSD screw, so it'll be that one there. So we'll just grab one of them. There we go. Now, screwdriver, you can do it diagonally again, so it's even pressure. Push up against the shield again to get it aligned. Pop the screw in. Nope. There you go. Tighten it up, not too tight, just so you get all the other ones in first. Put this one down here. That in. Okay. Another one. This one up here. Okay. This one down here. Okay. There. Cool. This one up here. Okay, they're not quite going up, so loosen again. And try to move that in. Okay. This one up here. Okay. Sure. Got two more down here. And just make sure that they're tight, not too tight. Okay, all good. Motherboard is installed. Bye.
We will install the graphics card.
Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and install the graphics card. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and install the video card. This is the 6600. So, you're going to have this connection here. It's going to slot in just like the RAM with a notch here. Make sure you've got all your covers off that's needed on the side. In my case, I had to take off 2 for the ports here. And then this case also had like a little side slot here. This, which I had to take off before installing. Okay, so once you've got that done, just align up the slot like so. Sorry if my head gets in the way, but you can see it slots in there. And then just click it down, make sure it's all good, and click down, and the clip should just click in. And there you go. And now you see on the side here, it's going to line up with screws. So you get the screws for your graphics card. Then pop this cover back on. Screw this in. Go. And that's the graphics card installed. We're going to install the SSD drive now. this one, on my case, will fit onto these slots here. It's a bit of a pain to get to the back. Yours might be easier, yours might be the same, but so what I'm doing is I'm just screwing this onto here, so we're going to mount it there. Got to use my head torch because it's getting dark. Okay, so we've got this SSD drive all installed, and we'll move on to the M2. Okay, so with this M2, we're just going to take off the little heat shield. It's going to be here. Take that off, and we'll put the M2 in. Okay, so this M2 SSD drive is going to go in. Slots in again with a notch, and if you can see down here, it's where it will go into. Just that way. There we go, clicks in, then we'll pop that screw on there. So this screw will come with your motherboard. But in this case, we're going to put this heat shield on, and then pop 2 screws in. So this heat shield comes with some thermal paste padding applied, so we're going to take that off, and we screw it on. Okay, and that is the M2 drive installed. There we go. Okay, so we're going to install the power supply now. So that's going to sit, in this case it sits at the bottom here. Some cases it sits at the top, usually at the bottom here. So it looks like we're going to have to open up this side panel. Side up here, gonna slide her in so it's facing the fan down, and the screw mounting points are going to be here, here, and here. So let's put her in. So turn around. So, and that is your power supply installed, and now after that we've got the cables to install. Okay guys, so now we're going to install the cables for the CPU. So what we need is, we're going to need some SATA power for the hard drive, or SSD drive, sorry. Then your main ATX board power, and then we've got the CPU power cable, and a cable for the graphics card. So all these cables will plug into this modular power supply in here. If your power supply isn't modular, it will just have one whole bundle of cables, and you just need to figure out which one's which. So for mine, I'm installing them individually in here. So I'll get that done and get back to you. Okay, so we've got the power cables installed to the power supply. Now what you want to do is just run them up through wherever it's needed. So you might have some grommets in your case, or like little cutouts for where you can put your cables through. So the first cable we're going to do is the main power connector for your board, ATX power connector. So let's go ahead and do that one. We're going to pop it through here, this first slot here. There we go. And then we come out to the other side, turn around, that's it here. And then if I turn the camera around a bit, I'm going to install it into this ATX slot here. It's going to have a notch here and the clip on the plug, and it will go in one way and just clip in. So let's do that one. There we go. Make sure that's nice and flush and in. Cool, so there's that one. Now we want to do the CPU power, which is going to be a plug up here. Same thing, feed it through where you want it. Back. Feed it through here. There we go. And plug her in. There we go. The CPU done. Okay. And now we want to do power for the SSD drive. I'm gonna feed this one up through here. Now the SSD is going to have a little notch on the side, and that way you know it's the right way. There we go. It's plugged in. So that's your SSD power. Now your other M2 SSD is just powered straight from the board, so you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that is all the main power connectors for there. Now we'll just do the graphics card. So I'm going to send that one from underneath, I reckon. Yeah, send that one through here, and then come out around here. So we just plug this one in. Oh, connector. This one here. Okay, plug that one in here. There we go. And that is graphics card power done. So now what we'll do is the SATA cable, and that will come with your motherboard. So these cables here, let's open that up. Now with these SATA cables, refer to your manual to which SATA port to connect to. They all vary, but yeah. Okay, so we're going to feed that one through. Here.
got a little clip on top. There we go. And then this plugs into the board. Okay, I'll show you this SATA ports on the side. So if you have a look down the side, don't know if you can see that, but just down there on the side you'll see SATA ports. But yeah, refer to your manual, guys, and that'll be able to show you. Okay, so we've now got all the cables to the back, the front panel connectors and the fans. So now we'll feed through the ones we need and plug them into the board. So refer to your manual for what goes to what. And yeah, we'll start doing that. Okay, so we're going to connect the USB connections. So this is going to be USB 3.0, blue. Going to be a little notch there. It's just going to go on the side here. Might be a bit hard to get that one in. Let's get this one. Okay, we've got the USB 3.0 done. Now we'll put the USB 2.0 in, which goes just here. There we go. Cool. And that's the USB ports done. Okay, I'm going to put the audio cable in, which goes to this one on the left. So okay, that's done. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do the power switch, the power LEDs, and the hard drive LED. Okay guys, we've got all the front panel connectors all done now. So that's all done there, all plugged in, all the power connectors done, got the fans plugged in. Now with the fans, I've used a splitter. So I've just got one cable coming in for the fan, which will go into my system fan header on the board. So on your motherboard, you will have the same, you have some system fan headers. You can either plug each fan into them, or you can use a hub, sort of fan hub, to connect them all and only have to use one connector. So that's up to you how you want to do it, or you can run your fans straight off a Molex power connector. So yeah, we got all that done. We've hooked up the antennas. If your board comes with wireless antennas there, they just show you here on these little connectors. You just screw them on. Easy done, like so. There you go. So that's how they go on. I'll take you around to the back of the case. There's the back here, so we're going to have to clean up all this mess and make it nice and neat. If your case has some RGB lighting like this one, it will have some, what are they called? Rainbow, I think rainbow connectors. So they just, on your motherboard manual, will show you where you can plug them into. It will be like this little plug here on mine. So I'll show you what that will look like So it'll be like a little plug like this. So this will plug into your motherboard. You can also join it to any other RGB connectors what have pins like this. So you can join them onto that and then plug it all into the one port on your motherboard. So yeah, we'll tidy up these cables. Once that's done, we'll power on. Okay guys, what you can do with the cables is use some little zip ties, or you can get some little Velcro strips. It's up to you. Zip ties probably will do a little bit better because you can tighten them or tension them more on the case when you're tying it in. Probably don't want to tension it too much, but what you can do is try to get all your cables in sort of one loom like this, especially on the side. And then you can separate like these power connectors after, and you can use, your case might come with little sort of tie down sort of areas. This one has these little, if you have a look here, little prong things that stick out. So you can just tie them down to the side there, wherever you'd like. I'm going to go here, and yeah, we'll go through and get that all done. Okay, so we've got all the cables all tied up as best as I can. You might find that some cables are a little bit short to sort of maneuver around, so you just kind of got to make it work. But yeah, that is all done. So all the cabling's done, everything is installed, and now we'll be putting the panels back on, and we're going to turn it on. Now hopefully she turns on.